that song specifically, "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death," it's like very politically charged lyrics and stuff like that. It's got a cool video. That got the attention. That single got the attention of Mr. Max Cavalera.
Oh,
And so he really dug that. He was going in press when people were asking, "What are you listening to?" He's like, "This band Havok is really killer. They got this song called Unnatural, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, super killer. Like, so cool, up and coming band, man. Trash metal, man." So I've got a pretty good Max. When you live on a bus with somebody for 10 years, you absorb it through osmosis.
Oh my gosh, you sound just like him.
Oh, it's killer, bro. Killer. I love Max. He's super, super cool, dude. So he loved the band, and he invited us on tour, and it was just Soulfly and Havok direct support, and we toured the United States. And I got to be great friends with all those guys.
Yeah.
And 𝐤𝐤.
I want more people to know about you. Your first band was the Absence.
The Absence. That's right.
That was your first band in Tampa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did I? Is that more on the death metal side, or what?
Yeah, you like melodic death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot of In Flames influence, like Arch Enemy kind of stuff. The Swedish sound, kind of, but like death metal because we're from Tampa.
Right.
Yeah. We did. I've done 5 albums with the band, and I started. They did an album actually. I joined in right towards the end of their first album that they released in 2005.
Right.
And I was playing in like local bands and stuff like that, so I was kind of like learning the world a bit.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends were like, "Have you heard of the Absence? You love In Flames. You love like Arch Enemy. You love all this, melodic death metal. Have you not heard the Absence? They're from here in Tampa." And I hadn't heard of it. And I was like, "What the hell?" And they were like, "They had this album, From Your Grave."
Right.
Was the first one they released on Metal Blade 2005.
Oh.
And my buddies handed it over to me, and they were like, "You got to listen to this." And I was like, "Oh my God, they're from here." And my buddy Danny Dabrowski, he was like, "Dude, the singer works at FYE in the mall. Like, we could go hang out with him." And I was like, "What?" So his name was Jamie Stewart, and I ended up going with my buddy Danny, who also worked at the mall. And I met Jamie, and we like kind of all started hanging out a bit. And he was in the skateboarding culture. I kind of was too. And they were like in a punk rock scene kind of, but he was in a death metal band. He was kind of like the odd man out. Yeah. And I was like, I loved it. So we kind of became friends through that, and we'd skate and stuff like that. And back then I wasn't really playing much bass. I was so obsessed with 𝐤𝐿DN 𝐵𝐿DM that I had a delusion of grandeur, thinking that I could play guitar like 𝐿WILL.
Yeah.
So I stopped playing bass for a minute, and I tried my hand again at electric guitar and like keyboard, because I loved the sounds that they were making. I was like, you can make like metal with keyboard, because 𝐤𝐿DN 𝐵𝐿DM was doing that, like doing melodies and harmonizing with keyboard and guitar. So I was like, that's insane. I tried that. So when I met Jamie, that's what I was doing at the time. He didn't know that I had any history playing bass. So one night, over a few blunts in the garage and playing Mario Kart, they were like, "Let's jam. You got like some acoustic guitars and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, I got a couple of guitars, So I had a 12-string acoustic, a regular acoustic, and an acoustic bass. And I, handed out the guitars, and I was playing bass. And Jamie was like, wait a second, you play bass?" And I was like, "I am much better of a bass player than I'm a guitar. Like, I'm trying this guitar thing, and it's not really panning out much for me." And so I started playing Anesthesia by Metallica on bass.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "What? Like, we need a bass player. The Absence needs a bass player. What are you doing? Like, learn these 3 songs, and we're going to rehearse, next weekend. Come learn these songs, come to rehearsal.
Right.
And if you nail them, you got it. We got a tour coming up." But he didn't tell me what the tour was. He's like, "We're going on tour. We got this new album coming out. Learn these 3 songs." He gave me the songs. I learned them. Went to rehearsal. Did it, got the gig, I guess. I was barely 19 at the time, and all the guys were in their 30s already.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I was like way the young guy. and I got the part. And it was like a week later that I found out that the tour that they had booked was Metal Blade 25th anniversary tour. I actually have the flyer right here behind me over here. It was Cannibal Corpse, The Black Dahlia Murder, Red Chord, Goat Whore, and The Absence. All North
What?
America. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That was it. So I basically I had braces
Right.
when I tried out. I had my braces on, and like I was scheduled like a week before we left
Yeah.
for the tour. I got my braces off, and I
Right.
went on tour with the Absence, and the rest is history.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
sick, man. How
Yeah.
long were you in that band?
I joined in 2007,
Right.
and we did that tour, and we did an album called Riders of the Plague. It was also on Metal Blade. I've got them hanging up on the wall here. And then
Oh
another
man.
album we did in 2010 called Enemy Unbound. And those were the three Metal Blade ones were From Your Grave, Riders, and Enemy Unbound. We did that one in 2010. And then we toured for a couple years after that. And I think 2012, the band kind of had like, there was a lot of internal drama and like the guitar players were very problematic and we were having issues with the label and the guys
Yeah.
like, it was a mess.
Yeah.
So the band kind of dissolved and faded away. And at that same time, we had just toured, the Absence had just toured with a band from Denver called Havok. And we
Mm.
met at this tiny little bar in Jersey called the Championship Bar and Grill. And it was like a venue of like maybe not even 100 people. And they had like chicken wings and a bar and stuff like that. And I remember the Absence played the night before, and then we had a day off. And our guitar player had family in Jersey.
All right.
But we loved the bar so much that we went there the next day and we were like, yeah, fuck, let's just get some beers and some chicken wings and see, whatever.
Yeah.
So the tour that we saw the next day happened to be Havok and this band Wretched, like another death metal band. And I saw Havok, and I remember sitting there eating my garlic parm wings,
Right.
looking at them, and like they bust Havok's playing, and I'm like, this band's pretty crazy. And their bass player had like this anatomical skeleton hand, and he was like shredding Fender looking ESP, and I was like, this is sick. And they busted into a cover of Slayer, and I was like, oh my god, this is now my favorite band.
Right.
So after they done playing, I was like, dude, tell me everything about you guys, what the hell's going on. And me and my buddy Pete Weber, drummer extraordinaire, I'm
I
sure
was
you
about to
know
ask
and
you
love
that.
Pete.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Pete
how
is
we
the
met,
man.
was that night. And then we were like smoking some weed in the van, and just like they were like, yeah, we're from Denver, we do this and that. And I was like, dude, I love you guys, this is incredible. So we met then, we kept in touch. Then we ended up touring together in 2010 or 11, I believe, with a band called Malevolent Creation and Full Blown Chaos. So it was a really crazy tour package, but we toured together then, got to know the guys. And then that was when the Absence was kind of like amping down, kind of ramping down, and kind of a lot of drama. And then Havok was like doing the exact opposite. They were about to release an album called Time Is Up. That's like their seminal album. And I wanted to do anything. I wanted anything to do with Havok because I saw the trajectory. I saw the guys were like super cool. I loved hanging with them. So when the Absence kind of stopped, Dave asked me like, well, we're about to get super busy and I want a front of house engineer. Like, do you know how to do that? And I was like, I don't. And he was like, I can teach you. So he flew me to Denver and he taught me how to mix audio, like front of house, like to man a desk.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is how I want my band to sound. This is how I want my band to be mixed. Like he taught me exactly how to do it. He taught me how compression works. He taught me how to, do everything. And I went on tour with them, mixing them for a tour. We did 63 shows in 65 days. And I learned how to mix audio. And it was right at the end of that tour, they were having problems with their bass player at the time.
Right.
And he ended up leaving the band, and they were like, well, you play bass. Do you want to play in Havok? And I was like, absolutely. So I joined the band in 2013. I moved to Denver. Quit my job at the golf range and like packed everything into like this big backpack and a couple like Tupperwares.
Yeah.
I moved to Denver, and Havok had like a band house where everybody lived in the same house. And we wrote the album that would become Unnatural Selection. And Unnatural Selection did pretty well. It was the first time that I charted any band on Billboard charts. and it was mixed by Terry Date.
No way.
Absolutely. So that's how we got to meet Terry. And he flew. Well, we were in Seattle, and he was doing the mix. So he invited us to the studio, and we got to give him like our notes and stuff, and we got to listen on his console, and it was an incredible experience working with him too, because we were basically in the process of mixing the album while we were on tour. So he would send us like mixes and bounce them out to us, and Dave would be like, "Everybody in the van." And we'd listen to it like in the van, and then we'd listen to it in our headphones on our thing, and we'd write our notes and send them back to Terry, and he'd be like, "Cool." And then, later in the day, he'd be like, "I made the changes."
All right.
And we basically mixed that album with Terry Date while on tour. And I love the record. It came out super sick. It sounds really great. It's I think it's now number 2 on the best sounding bass performance I have on an album for me.
Really?
So, thanks to Terry.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Okay.
Thanks to Terry Date.
Can I explain people who Terry Date is?
Please.
Terry Date is a big time producer that used to produce Deftones and Pantera.
Alice in Chains,
Alice in
Soundgarden, a couple bands you might have heard of.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Just a few of the bands. Big bands, nothing small.
One of the best producers in the 90s. You could go ahead and say that, I would say.
Dude. Man, I love his work.
Terry's an absolute monster.
Dude, I didn't know he did your guys' album. I didn't know that.
That's right.
Dude, that's sick.
Yep, and it sounds incredible. Like sonically, Unnatural Selection. There's a song on there. It was a big single, our first single, called "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death."
Mm-hmm.
That was like our flagship single for that record, and so I guess I can continue to segue into the next thing. We released that album, and that song specifically, "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death," it's like very politically charged lyrics and stuff like that. It's got a cool video. That single got the attention of Mr. Max Cavalera.
Oh!
And so he really dug that. He was going in press when people were asking, "What do you listen to?" He's like, "This band Havok is really killer. They got this song called Unnatural, Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death, super killer, like so cool, up and coming band, man. Trash metal, man." So I've got a pretty good Max. When you live on a bus with somebody for 10 years, you absorb it through osmosis.
Oh my gosh, you sound just like him.
It's killer, bro, killer. I love Max. He's super, super cool, dude. So he loved the band, and he invited us on tour, and it was just Soulfly and Havok direct support, and we toured the United States, and I got to be great friends with all those guys, and Glow, and within the third day, like I already knew the bus combination to the door, and as soon as we'd park, I'd go right onto the bus, and I'd find Zion. And I'd be like, "Yo, let's smoke one, right?"
Right, yeah.
And he'd be like, "I already got one rolled." And we were just, dude, it was super awesome camaraderie right off the bat. I love Z. We still talk almost every day.
Dude, tell myself what's up.
I will, dude. Yeah, he loves you too.
Man.
So that's how I met the Soulfly camp, and then the Havok thing. We kept touring. We did a whole world tour, like basically DIY. We hit every single market, like South America for the first time, Europe a couple times. We went to Russia. We went to all of the Pacific Rim in Asia and Japan and stuff like that. So we went all over the place, Canada, US, a ton of times through that record cycle. And then when that cycle kind of fizzed out after about 2 years, 2015, Soulfly was actually looking for a bass player. And I was kind of ramping down with Havok. We were taking a break after that huge campaign that we just did. We were about to start writing a new album. And Tony Campos from, at the time, Soulfly, just left to go play with Fear Factory and Ministry.
Oh.
And they were like, Soulfly, I had been in touch with Gloria and everybody. So when that happened, Glow reached out to me and was like, "Hey, we've got this tour in the fall 2015. Would you be interested in like learning some of these new songs and learning some songs?" And like, stepping in and playing bass on the tour? And I was like, absolutely. Sounds like a great time. And so they gave me the new album. I learned the whole album. I was on tour with another band called Abssence. It's like a death metal band, and super crazy tech death. And I was just kind of feeling my, because I was in so much like tour mode. We did with Havok, I think we did like 500 shows in a year and a half, maybe, 2 years, maybe. It was insanely busy. So I was just in tour mode. So I didn't want to stay at home. So if like a band needed a front of house, I went out and I mixed a band called the 𝐤𝐤𝐤. They're good friends of mine from Montreal. I mixed them, and then exactly from that tour, I had to leave a couple days early, and I started playing in a band called Abssence. That was a band that I loved, that I had buddies with. So I did that, and that's when 𝐤𝐤 asked me, like, do you want to do the Soulfly thing? So, there was a bunch of tension going with the band Havok as well.
Right.
Signing to Century Media, and a bunch of things got a little squirrely. So I was like, you know what? I don't think this is for me anymore. And basically we went separate ways. And the day that I finished with Havok, I called Gloria an hour later, and I was like, hey, so I have all the time in the world now. If you want to, do this Soulfly thing, like to jam, like I can come out and rehearse whenever. And she's like, well, shit. If you're not playing in Havok, like, we need a full-time bass player. Do you want to just play bass in Soulfly? And I was like, yep. Yep. So that's what happened. And I was on a plane like a couple weeks later. I moved out to Arizona, and I lived in Max's mountain house with Zion and his brother, his drum tech Jason. And I learned like probably 50 of Max's songs between Sepultura and Soulfly, and we went on tour. And I lived out there for about 3 months.
Did you really?
In the end of 2015, in the beginning of 2016, and then that's what started a 10-year adventure with Max and his family. And it's so crazy that everything kind of piggybacks, Like, I was on tour with Abssence, then I met Havok, then I was on tour with Havok, then I met Soulfly, and then I'm on tour with Soulfly. It's like pretty crazy.
Wow. Dude, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, man.
Long-winded story, but that's my last 15 years as a musician in a nutshell.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great story, man.
Yeah.
That's a really, really great story, man.
Yeah.
And of course, I know that went into the Cavalera brothers, and like, how was that?
I got goosebumps just now.
Oh,
because truly, like, this one hits deep for me, because Sepultura was one of my, like, I liked stuff like Rage, I liked the Chili Peppers, I liked Metallica and bands like that, and I was getting into it. My buddy, the same day that I learned who Pantera was, I learned who Sepultura was.
Yeah.
And my life changed after that.
Hey, did you know that we have a website, Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr.? We got all kinds of stuff on there, man. Check it out. Got some cool swag on there, like a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a coffee mug. Man, if you can just go on there and just check it out and see what you think, man, it would help me out, But yeah, check out the gear. Hope you like it, and support Talk Music Podcast with Will Dorsey Jr. Thanks. Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Will Dorsey Jr. Talk Music Podcast. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button. That little red button on there, just hit it. That will help me out tremendously. If you can also, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that will also help me. And if you wanted to download our podcast on Apple or Google or Amazon or even Spotify, you can check us out on there. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, 𝐸 Studio, the new way musicians rehearse, record, and share their 𝐸 sessions on social media. Visit ERS on 𝐸recordstudio.com. Download this amazing app on Google and Apple Apps stores.
Visit us on www.talkmusicpodcast.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Download our podcast on Apple, Google, Amazon, and Spotify.